Do you feel like you're the best kept secret within your local area you operate your estate agency business? If you do, this video is absolutely perfect for you. My name is Chris Webb. I'm the owner of the Estate Agent Consultancy. I help with estate agents throughout the UK grow, leverage and expand their estate agency businesses and ultimately make them more profitable. So in today's video, we're going to look at how to make you well known within the area you operate in. This is going to generate more leads and have you called out to more market appraisals because you are going to be seen as the go-to agent for that area. So before we go into that too much detail, we just need to understand about marketing touch points. Now, the very abridged version of this is that no one knows who you are initially, and they need to receive a certain amount of marketing before you're even on the radar. They know you are even an estate agent or even what you do. So marketing touch point 1, 2, 3 are pretty much dead. There is nothing people are going to do. You might get lucky and get the odd person call off the back of your first leaflet drop going out, but generally you need to get more marketing touch points before people pick up the phone. I had a client speak to me the other day who had just been instructed on a property that had been on the market with another agent. The homeowner said to him he had received 3 letters from him, they'd spoken twice on the doorstep and had received 4 leaflets as well. So that's multiple marketing touch points that homeowner had received before they picked up the phone with my client who is now instructed on that property. So how might these look? What are these marketing touch points we might be getting out? So on a very high level that goes out to a lot of people but doesn't have much impact, things like social media, for example. Having a strong social media presence can be absolutely brilliant because people will look you up online, they'll see what you're about. If you're operating in the local area, this can be a good, strong marketing touch point. Also, such things like bulk leaflet drops will be absolutely brilliant. Also, good news stories in the local area that you're doing. So you might have sold a property, listed a property, completed on a property. These are all touch points in the local area. You might have a buyer who's looking to buy in a certain area. You can get a VIP letter out to those homeowners in that local area. Again, this is another touch point. Also, for sale boards or a branded card, these are all marketing touch points that point towards you being an estate agent and having properties and selling properties within that local area. So the general rule of thumb is that a very few amount of touch points with a client, you'll get nothing off the back of it. Only when these touch points start to stack up over time will you start to get some transactions and get some collateral off the back of it. So this is the mistake that lots of estate agents make. So wave your hand in the air if you think this is you. There we go. I'm an estate agent in, let's pick an area, Hampshire. So I am the entire county of Hampshire. I've got no idea how many people are in Hampshire, but I guess quite a lot. I would imagine hundreds of thousands of people live in Hampshire. Now, unless you have an absolutely enormous marketing budget, trying to get to multiple touch points with 100,000 people is going to be very, very, very hard. So we can rule that out straight away. So what we actually need to do is to think big. We need to think small. So let's say this is a smaller town within Hampshire. And let's say, for example, this town has 20,000 people in it, or 20,000 households in that area. Okay, bit more manageable. But if you're a one-person band, again, trying to affect 20,000 people is a lot. That's going to be a lot of marketing, a lot of touch points, a lot of money, etc. Which you've got the budget to do it, that's absolutely great. But I know a lot of estate agency businesses, when they first launch, they haven't got that flexibility, unfortunately. So what would we do? We would pick a small area within this. Now, I would recommend this is a development, a certain part of town. It might be a village, particular area, and this might be, let's say, 2, maybe 3, maybe 4,000 households. And what we're effectively going to do is do this. And forget everything else apart from those households. So if I lived in this area, let's call this village number 1, not very creatively named, I will agree. I should be receiving a touch point from yourself every couple of weeks as an absolute maximum. Now, for those of you who watched the video about stacking and about stacking deliveries, if you haven't watched that, I suggest you watch that. For those of you who have watched that, this is going to link in quite nicely with that because it's all about repetitive marketing touch points on that as well. So let's say it's 4,000 in our area. So I'm just going to make a bigger version of what we've just done. So let's get rid of that version. So this is our 4,000 households in area number 1. What we effectively would do is divide this up. There we go. I've done this in hence why I picked 4,000, because it's divisible by 4. So these are 1,000 household chunks around that area. What we should look to do is a lap of this every couple of weeks. So we should do an entire lap of this entire sort of 4,000 household area. This should take us about 3 weeks or so. Roughly speaking, so we're doing week 1 and 2, we're doing over here, then 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and then we're back round over here again, back round to the beginning to another marketing touch point. So what is going to happen over time is that our touch point is going to build. So we might be in area number 1, great, we've got a touch point here, then we move on here, touch point, 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 to eventually you can see this is building up and up and up and up and up, to eventually there's multiple touch points in each of these sections. This is going to lead to market appraisals coming into your business, because you are seeing that in our village number 1, not very creatively named, we are now an authority in property. Most properties come on the market, well, in fact, every property that comes on the market will know what they're about. We would have knocked on the front door, had a communication with the homeowner, we'd have buyers looking for that local area, we might have properties for sale in that area, have for sale leaflets going out, sold leaflets going out, loads of quality market material going out in village number 1. So let's fast forward a bit of time. Now when I say a bit of time, this might be 6 months, it might be a year, it might be 5 years. So we go back to our original drawing here of our 20,000 households. We had our 4,000 households here out of this. What we'd do over time is effectively move our fence. And what I mean by that is over time, we would do this, and then maybe a year later, 6 months later, 2 years later, maybe never, we would do this, until eventually we look after the entire area. If you're trying to do this entire patch in one go and you start off and go, great, I've got 20,000 households here and they need to hear from me every 2 or 3 weeks, it's very hard to manage. Whereas if you break that right the way down, so you start off with a really select area of 4,000 households or a couple of thousand households you're going to look after on a regular basis. Over time, as we said, we can move that out and out and out. This process might take 6 months. It might take 5 years. You might actually do such a good job down here that actually you think, oh, you've got such a niche in this area, you never need to leave that area. You get the income and the cash flow into business that manages that. So that is how you set up the business, but it's all about those marketing touch points. If you're doing 1 leaflet drop a year, you might as well not bother. If you're doing 1 day of door knocking a year, you might as well not bother. It's all about those multiple touch points within a core area. Remember, touch point 1, 2 or 3, hardly worth doing, but you need to do them to get to touch point 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 that are actually going to pay off into your business. If you'd like a guide about how to get these touch points into your business, simply visit estateagentconsultancy.com, go on the contact us page, send us a quick message and we'll send that across to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.